This is TTI's LiquidLocker. Today at Wodonga's Racetrack, 3 drivers are going to find out what it's like to drive with and without this and what it means to safety and performance. Guys, thanks so much for coming today. How was it? How was your day?
Fun.
Fun? You had a good time?
Definitely.
Yeah, great experience for sure.
Great.
Yeah, definitely a great experience.
Can you tell us what were your key takeaways, just in general? Because we started with the truck going around without the LiquidLocker. Tell me, what was that like?
Erratic.
Erratic?
Quite loose.
Quite loose, yeah.
It felt very top heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. You had to sort of be careful around the corners. It sort of leant over a bit if you went a bit too hard, and you sort of had to be wary of the vehicle.
So when you're driving a liquid truck as opposed to a normal truck, then how does that feel? What does it do for the confidence? What does it do for the driving experience?
You really have to be aware of the difference with carton liquids, because liquids move quite a lot, especially when the tank's not quite full.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of slosh and a lot of sideways movements, which really impacts on the truck.
Yeah.
You get a lot of forward and backwards, especially when you're in traffic.
Yeah.
And moving around corners and stuff. The water will come back 2 or 3 times depending on how long the corner is.
What do you call it, Rochelle? Because you ride motorbikes. What did you call it this morning?
Tank slap.
The tank slap. Is that a Rochelle?
No, it's not a Rochelle.
That's a common.
It is.
It's a common terminology for it.
Yeah, it is when your tank's not full.
Right.
It's exactly like your water truck. As soon as you stop or you're going through a corner, you'd get that movement with the fluid.
Yeah,
exactly
right.
the same as your water truck.
The second part of the experience is we asked you to go down and go through some cones and weave in and out of the cones. What was that experience?
I like them a lot, apparently. I like running over them, especially.
Excellent.
I'm especially good at that.
Took one out!
Without the liquid balls in it, it was very hard to control.
Yeah.
Whereas with the liquid lockers, it makes the day so much easier.
What about the speed? What was the speed like in comparison?
Speed was a lot less to when we had the liquid lockers in. Just totally different. Game changer.
So now we put the LiquidLocker in. Going through the curves now, what was your experience and how did it feel?
You didn't have that forward-backwards motion of the water, which was a big thing, because that sort of gave you a lot of lag when you're coming into a corner or out of a corner.
Felt more confident.
Yeah.
The stability in those liquid lockers was amazing.
Quite a lot more smoother. You could actually get more speed out of it and more controllable.
Let's talk about stopping. So with the stopping, so we then asked you to stop without the LiquidLocker and then with the LiquidLocker. What was the difference there? So firstly, without the LiquidLocker, what was the experience around stopping?
Once again, you get a lot of surge. The water would launch forward, you could really feel that adding to you trying to stop. The truck performed very well as stopping, but without the LiquidLockers, totally different. A lot of surging backwards and forwards. Without the LiquidLockers, not nearly the same thing.
So Rochelle, what about yourself? What about the with and without the LiquidLockers for the stopping?
The same as the boys. It was the forward-backwards motion of the water that was the standout, even with the stopping. You felt it as you pulled up hard, you were still in the cab sort of swaying, as opposed to when you had the liquid lockers, you didn't have any of that movement.
Jason, at the beginning of the day, firstly, thank you for today. And at the beginning of the day, you said, when we asked you for what your opinion, you said you don't actually have an opinion, it's all about the data.
That's right.
So can you tell us a little bit about what the data told you today on today's demonstration?
Okay, there was a significant difference in body roll with the liquid locker balls.
Yep.
In a reduction in body roll in lateral forces. In the braking forces, there was improvement by around about 5% G,
Yep.
which is reasonably high.
Jason, what does it mean when you talk about when you go rolling? What does that mean in terms of safety on the road?
Okay, safety on the road, it keeps you in your lane. When the liquid is surging from side to side, it's taking the vehicle with it, and you're creeping off your lane. You've also got better control, better stability in your lane, better braking. The data will show significant reduction in tyre wear with the liquid locker balls.
Yep.
You also see significant reduction in stress on the chassis, which should relate to fuel savings. When I saw the liquid locker balls being loaded in and had a look in the tank, I could see that they were going to really make a significant difference to the road stability of the truck.
So guys, have you got questions for me?
Oh, can you explain a bit about the liquid lockers?
So I'll tell you a little bit about it, because I'm not from TTI, right? So I had to learn about these things myself. But the interesting thing is, these things, when they go in, they lock. So the shape of it means that they're able to lock together, so therefore they don't move. And because they don't move, they lock the water up. That's why they call it a liquid locker. Now, when they're all in there, how much do you reckon that takes up in tank capacity? Any ideas?
None.
1.74%.
Unbelievable.
So it's hardly any of the capacity is taken up for all of that manoeuvrability and all of that efficiency. In that tank, there was 458 of these things.
I would never pick
Yeah.
that.
No,
It's a bit of a good guessing competition, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Now, the other thing is, the interesting thing that I found with it is how much weight does it add? And it adds no additional weight. Water is heavier than that. So the density of that is lighter than water. So therefore, the truck is actually lighter.